Until recently, we lived in a social context where the similarities between the civil institution of marriage and the Christian sacrament were considerable and shared. The two were interrelated and mutually supportive. This is no longer the case. If I were to describe our situation today, I would use two familiar images. On the one hand, our neighborhood stores, those small businesses in our neighborhoods. And on the other hand, our large supermarkets. There was a time when one neighborhood store had everything one needed for personal and family life. It's true that it wasn't all cleverly displayed and it didn't offer much choice, but there was a personal bond between the shopkeeper and his customers from the neighborhood. And business was done on the basis of trust. People knew one another. And they were all neighbors. They trusted one another. They built up trust. And in many places, these stores were often simply known as the local market. Then, in recent decades, a different kind of store was created. The shopping centers. Huge spaces with a great selection of opportunities and merchandise. The world seems to have become one of these great shopping centers or supermarkets. Our culture has become more and more competitive. Businesses no longer conduct business based on trust. Others can no longer be trusted. There is no longer that close personal relationship. Today's culture seems to encourage people to not bond with anything or anyone. Not to trust or let others trust in them. The most important thing today seems to be to follow the latest trend or activity, even at a religious level. Today, consumerism determines what is important. Consuming relationships, consuming friendships, consuming religions, consuming, whatever the cost or consequences. A consumption that does not create bonds. Consumption which has little to do with human relationships. Social bonds are a mere means for satisfaction of my needs. The important thing is no longer our neighbor with his or her familiar face, story, and personality. The result is a culture which discards everything. Everything that is no longer useful or satisfying. Satisfying for the taste of the consumer. We have turned our society into a huge multicultural showcase tied only to the tastes of certain consumers, while so many others The others have nothing to eat but the crumbs which fall from their master's table. This causes great harm. It is a great cultural harm. I would dare say that at the root of so many contemporary situations is a kind of radical loneliness that so many people live in today. Running after the latest fad, a like, accumulating followers on any of the social networks. And we, human beings, get caught up in what contemporary society has to offer. Loneliness with fear of commitment. In a limitless effort to feel recognized. Should we blame our young people for having grown up in this kind of society? Should we condemn them for living in this kind of world? Should they hear their pastors saying things like, "It was all better back then. The world is falling apart. And if things go on this way, who knows where we will end up?" That sounds a little bit like an Argentine tango. I don't think that this is the way. As shepherds, following in the footsteps of the Good Shepherd, we are asked to seek out, to accompany, to lift up, to bind up the wounds of our time, to look at things realistically, with the eyes of one who feels called to action, to pastoral conversion. The world today demands this conversion on our part. It is vitally important for the church today to go forth and preach the gospel to all places, on all occasions, without hesitation, reluctance, or fear. The joy of the gospel is for all people. No one can be excluded. The gospel is not a product for consumption.